episode of Cooking with Bee. Today we're going to be making my personal favorite, a cinnamon roll hero. For this recipe, you'll need flour, milk, salt, butter, sugar, and eggs. Then you simply mix them all together, and before you know it, out comes your perfect cinnamon roll heroes. Good. Hi, my name's Bee, and welcome to my channel, Mama Needs to Read Romance and Pretend to Cook. I can't actually.
Welcome to a video that I have been excited about for a very long time. I love a good love scene. One that has that spice, but it's gotta have that emotion. The books I'm talking about in this video have more than that. There's an extra element of care, of checking in, of being best friends with the person that you're sharing your deepest love with. These love scenes are just another level. The connections, the sweetness, they made me tear up. I'm not gonna describe the scenes for you, don't worry, but I'm gonna tell you each of the books so you'll have an idea whether or not you want to read them. This is really just another excuse to talk about some of my favorite books. Without further ado, let's get to it. Let's start with one of my favorite historical romance authors of all time, Tess in A Night to Surrender, which is book one of the Spindle Cove series. And if you've ever seen my channel before, you know what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna look at the step back. I adore this couple. We have Susanna Finch and Victor Bromwell, or Brom. The setting here is very important, Spindle Cove. It's also known as Spinster Cove. Susanna is in charge of all the ladies that come here. They are just misunderstood, but it's believed that they're never going to get married, so they come to this quaint seaside setting to commiserate with other gals and attempt to live their best lives. Without men. Hard to believe, right? And Spindle Cove has very few men. Something Brom realizes right after he arrives. He's supposed to be getting the men that are there together into a militia in case war makes its way to sleepy little Spindle Cove. This book is hilarious. These enemies to lovers who are constantly butting heads and both want to be in charge of this town. Their chemistry is off the charts, and when it comes to the love scenes, I swooned so hard. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's so good. I love Chloe Leese so very much. I'm actually wearing one of her shirts right now that has all of the couples on it. I find all of the books in the Bergman Brothers series to be so emotional, filled with humor and heart, but this book especially, Everything for You, which is book 5 of the Bergman Brothers series, really swept me away in terms of tender love scenes. Gavin has been a soccer superstar for a long time, and the chronic pain is starting to catch up to him. Then we have Oliver, one of the Bergman brothers, hilarious, sweet, just a ray of sunshine, and he is newly on the team. But over time, Oliver especially is able to break down Gavin's walls. Now, Oliver does have some issues with anxiety, which Gavin helps him through, but I thought the most beautiful aspect of this book was Oliver supporting and loving Gavin through his chronic pain, which we see in many of the love scenes that they share. The constant checking in and just making sure that he's comfortable and cared for. I just adored it. Let's head back to historical romance for The Lady Knows Best by Susanna Craig. This is the first book in the Good's Guide to Misconduct series. We've got all the classic scenes of historical romance, ballrooms, tea parties, gorgeous dresses, and the people of the town playing mental chess with one another. But then in the second half of the book, we head to the English countryside and are treated to some of the most gorgeous scenes I've read. But let's talk about the plot. Daphne Burke is an advice columnist for Miss Good's Guide to Misconduct, the magazine just for misses. And her first goal is to bring down the rakes of the world. But she messes with the wrong rake when she goes after Miles, ending his engagement, and he says, make it right, when he discovers that she's the one that did it. She then says, she doesn't even know why she says, you can be engaged to me. So this is a fake engagement so he can save face, but quickly the fake engagement delivers us real feelings. One of my favorite love scenes I think I've ever read in terms of sensitivity and caring. I just loved it. I've always enjoyed Cara Bastone's Audible originals, but I was blown away when I read her first novel in the Forever Yours series, Just a Heartbeat Away. Some of the love scenes really had me swooning when I wasn't going, whoa! I was so impressed by Sebastian. We have an age gap romance. He's in his early 40s. She's in her late 20s. He's a single dad who has pretty much gotten over the death of his spouse 5 years ago when he encounters a woman who used to be his child's preschool teacher. They're now co-teachers at the same school. So they try to fight the feelings they have for one another. But as Sebastian describes in the book, their romance is like rich, dark chocolate. I love the scenes in which he's tucking blankets under her feet or putting his nose in her hair. You know how I love nuzzling if you've seen my short. She's never really experienced real love as real as what Sebastian can give her, and she truly helps him heal. This has some of the yummiest slow burn that I have ever read, and it made me eager to read the rest of the books in the series. I'll look for any excuse to talk about The Duchess Deal, also by Tess. And guess what we're going to do again, folks? Yes, we're looking at The Step Back. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that everyone I know that's read it has given just about 5 or 6 stars. Ash and Emma. He needs a wife. He proposes marriage. She thinks he's ridiculous, but quickly she decides, all right, let's do this. And she gives it a shot, proving to him that he's a better man than he thinks he is. I literally cried during some of these love scenes because they were so beautiful, where she proves to him that he is worthy of love even though he doesn't believe it after the scars on his face that he received during the war. This is one of the best historical romances I've ever read in my life, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Another one of my favorite authors, Abby Jimenez. I love to talk about her any chance I get, and Part of Your World is one of my favorite books that she's ever written about 2 people from different worlds. This one actually has a bunch of Easter eggs from The Little Mermaid. I saw the title and that was what originally drew me to this book, and I'm so thankful it did because I've had fabulous experiences reading her books. But here we have, again, Part of Your World, getting back on topic here. We have Daniel and Alexis. He's from a small town. He's actually the mayor. She's a big-time doctor in the city. But one night over grilled cheese, the 2 of them start to fall for one another, and what they anticipate is a one-night thing turns into so much more. I adored this cinnamon roll hero and the way he cares for her and shows her, even in some of their more passionate moments, that he cares so deeply for her. It's more than just lust for him, and he proves that in spades. I also got the Steambox version, so we're gonna look at that one too because why not? I adore this. The town is actually magical and the petals can come down magically at the right time, so seeing Daniel and Alexis together in this moment is so terrific. Plus, as if that's not enough, we have the adorable animals that are highly celebrated in this book. There's a side character named Doug that everybody loves. He's getting his own little happily ever after and an additional extra epilogue in the new book that's coming out in April just for the summer. So I'm going to be buying the Target version of that because I can't wait to see what happens to good old Doug from this book. I don't actually physically own the last book, and it's a Christmas book technically, but you could read it any time of year. It's The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. We have 2 people that are vying for the manager position of a failing bookshop during the holiday season, so it's enemies to lovers pretty much. Our heroine may or may not be aware that our hero has some feelings for her. She's on the autism spectrum and has difficulty sometimes understanding the subtleties of human emotion and expression, so she's not always certain of how he feels about her. But the 2 of them work it out and wind up working together in this gorgeous, gorgeous story. He can be sort of aloof or to himself, and he has reasons, but I won't be sharing them because it's part of the plot. I listened to this book with Zachary Weber and Aaron Mallon narrating, and it was just perfection. Tearing up, goosebumps, all the feels. It was tremendous, and I can't recommend it highly enough. If you want to wait until the holiday season, don't forget to put this on your TBR for December. Well, those were my books. This will only be part 1, believe me. I'm going to be making notes of all the other books I find that have extra tender love scenes because this is just one of my favorite topics of all. Are there any books that you've read that have those extra tender love scenes? Be sure to put them in the comments so that we can all get ready to add them to our TBRs. You know what's going on mine. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying whatever it is that you're reading, whether it's got an extra tender love scene or not. Until next time, thanks so much. Take care. Bye.